What up, Internet? Welcome back to the Type QQ Gaming channel. Welcome back also to Touhou 16, hidden star, hidden super thing in someplace, in Four Seasons. Yeah, we got another, I suppose, junk run. Yeah, I don't know. I guess feeling a little bit of the heat, feeling a little bit of the burn. Really can't muster anything all that decent on this difficulty. Yeah, and I'm not so sure really if I have much of a explanation or a reason why, other than the fact that we're just pure hot trash at this game. Maybe we really haven't found a combo we're really working with. I had experimented with changing our alt to Cherno, who has more of more of like a short range sort of burst damage type of thing. However, I did a few just test runs with her, and I just things were really bad. So I'm not really sure what my options are. There's options for different characters and different subsets, but it really seems like the baby diaper mode that I like to use. I pretty much have it. This is spam release and sit back and dodge and be frightened of everything that comes near you type of setup. I mean, certainly that's not the most optimal way of playing anything, but it's certainly the one that's kind of scored me the most success so far, question mark. So we have another run with Raymoon, again, using the using Cherno's release. And it gets about where we have been getting, which is kind of a little frustrating, I suppose. We kind of want to at least make a step forward of some regard. But, and maybe it was a baby step forward, but I'm not really going to say it was much of a success, to be completely honest. I think it's really more just like daily grind, the sort of put the work in, and see how things mature. Other current events. As people of the channel know, I really enjoy Fire Arrow, Fire Arrow X and Plus, for that matter. I was able to pick up Xenohell and Xenodyne R, which is from the same developers, just recently, so I've been mucking around with that as well. And I think I'll have a video up of the goings on with that very soon. And of course, we'll still do some Battle Traverse. So I think those will be the games moving forward. I really would like to start really striking deep into Touhou, at least in the normal mode. If I can, I mean, granted, I don't know what I'm really expecting. There's plenty of games I have a lot more time invested in that I wasn't able to beat, in normal mode. Embodiment of Scarlet Devil being one of them that I've probably played the most and still have not really 1cc'd. I've been able to, I think, 2cc it, 3cc, maybe around there, but not one. I've certainly brought it to the foot of the boss and just collapsed and offered my body as a meal. And that's about as good as I've been able to do. But at least in this run, what you may notice is that I'm being really aggressive and trying some experimentation with the releases. Instead of playing them as defense, as like, oh no, I'm about to get hit, use the release. You be aggressive, drop them right onto an enemy right before they shoot, and see if you can suck up all of their bullets, no matter what direction they go into, and convert all that into points later on in the game. So, at least that was kind of my mentality. I'm not so sure, really, something like that came out really well, I think. I'm not so sure if it really matured into anything, or materialized into anything. But it was something I kind of had stuck in my head, and I was like, you know what, I probably should try. See, that one, for example, was just an abject failure. But, I mean, the good thing with Cherno's release is that you can kind of do it, like, whenever the hell you want to, which is a little a little sad how someone could actually still lose this game after getting a release like every 10 seconds or so. Greed, I suppose greed is the number one part of trying to like mix it between, you know, oh look, it's a big cluster of bullets, but also now I'm fucking terrified. I'm in the corner and I've got, you know, a million bullets shot at my head. So yeah, it's kind of a mixture of that, I suppose. But yeah, other stuff going on, I suppose, while we check out the you know, the first level boss fight is that some time ago, I think during the summer Humble Bundle sale, I believe, I told my friends over at the Gamebound channel, link in your recycle bin, I told them that Crimson Clover, one of the best shmuppy games on Steam, I was like, I think it was like 80-something cents or something like that, or maybe like $1, I don't know. But it was very cheap. Well, Bad Dodgers are first hit there. Really at the tail end of that, probably really shouldn't have been hit, but told them to get it. They got it. One of them got it at least. I don't imagine both of them got it for no reason. And they finally made a video of it. You know, they were absolutely. I mean, they were, I guess, better than expected, but still pretty garbage. You know, they certainly. Oh my God, we are just getting fucking pounded. Jesus Christ. First level boss. Or is that second level boss? Second level boss, excuse me. Second level boss. And fucking just got 2 fucking lives ripped out of us. I mean, that's kind of why we're not getting anywhere close to where we should be. Because stupid shit like that. I mean, we're at 14,000 for our point modifier, so we should be able to, like, score some decent points when we can do such a thing, with our next extend being at 20 mil, but still, you know, we're at the point where we need to come to that final level of that final area with, like, you know, all, 7 or 8 lives there. We can't mess around losing lives to, you know, people that we really shouldn't, or enemies that we really shouldn't be losing lives to. You know, especially when we still have the girl in the rice hat that absolutely fucks us up every time, you know, we come across her. But going back onto Crimson Clover and Gamebound, Jesus, yeah, you know, it was a great seeing them play. I suppose, relatively speaking, because they didn't do particularly well, and I think some of the sentiment was, I think, you know, they didn't particularly appreciate the game as much as I absolutely love the game. And one of the things that really stood out was, they said, like, you know, this is another bullet hell shmup game, pretty much just like anything else, you know, any of them else. You know, it's hard to determine one shmup from the other, and I often feared that was really the case with people on the, you know, outside opinion. You know, I think any sort of die-hard individual that plays a lot of this stuff could be like, man, that's, you know, I think I could really tell the difference between, you know, Ikaruga and some, you know, junk game on Steam, you know. I'm not saying all games on Steam are junk, but you know what I mean. You know, some of those, like, quote-unquote Euro shmups, you know. Or, like, yeah, okay, I'll say it, you know, I could tell you the difference between, you know, Cinemora and Ikaruga, for that matter, or, you know, Touhou and, you know, Gradius, for that matter, you know, if not for the obvious, you know, one scrolls vertically, one scrolls horizontally, you know, or, you know, but, you know, that is kind of, I suppose the genre's biggest issue is that on the surface, when you're not looking or dissecting mechanics, it is just object A shooting at object B for the most part. And you can definitely tell while they were playing their playthrough that, you know, they were doing some strange things, like, for those who are familiar with Crimson Clover, you know, they would get their burst gauge, which is kind of attached to their bomb gauge as well in that particular game. And just as soon as they would have their burst gauge going, they would start bombing, which would, it sort of just depletes the reason to do burst to begin with. You know, it's like you do one or the other, right? So, you know, And here we go with that same pattern here, just ripping us apart. I mean, this is kind of what I'm saying about this run, is that it's really just me slipping and stumbling over the same things we've been slipping and stumbling over. You know, it's kind of why the tone of my voice is just so agitated, and maybe just a bad day for it. But who knows? I think there are going to be runs like this where it's just like, yep, we didn't learn a single thing, and we did the same dumb things we've always been doing. But going back onto Crimson Clover, you can kind of tell that because they didn't understand the game, which certainly can be, a shmup, an issue. I've played a bunch of games, if not still currently, where someone, has jumped on the comments, God love them, and been like, God, can you play this game right, please, And I'm like, yeah, I get it, all these games have a certain rhythm or, an internal beating heart that says this is how you're supposed to play me. Because, there's certain mechanics to exploit that gives you the most points, that gives you the most lives, gives you the highest score, etc., etc., etc. So yes, you can certainly just, have it your way, trademark, and, play a shmup. Certainly, that's certainly, I mean, I would never, blame someone for just having fun, right? But I suppose when it's talking about, you're trying to 1cc this thing, you're trying to do good, yes, you probably should understand the game a little bit more than just going in blind and being like, yeah, sure, whatever. So, I guess, I mean, I suppose a lot of genres of video games have that problem of, like, this is all the fucking same. I mean, I certainly wouldn't die on that hill, but I'd be like, dude, motherfucker, like, Call of Duty and, like, many other sort of, gray, brown, first-person shooters are all the fucking same. Yeah, and just being negative and pedantic and just, be needlessly reductive on top of that, and being like, listen, I really know that, of course, there's miles and miles of different mechanics that separate, one World War II game from the other. It's just, on the surface, when you see a bouncing rifle in front of you and dead Nazis, you're like, this is all the fucking same, And I suppose, that's, the opening, chapter to any book about, shmups, is that, on the outside, if you're an outside looking in, if you're not really familiarized yourself, they all look the fucking same, So, it was very peculiar to watch guys not generally play that stuff on their channel. Play probably one of the best games that they could play, and still kind of come with like sort of like meh, It's very much like everything else. I'm like, really? You guys haven't played everything else. You guys need to play everything else to find out this is not everything else, But c'est la vie, Teach their own. I certainly play a lot more other games other than just shoot 'em ups and bullet hells and the like. That's just kind of what I want to do on YouTube when it comes to uploading content. And speaking about the character that we should save our lives for, it's this boss entirely who's been just wrecking our face all day, all night. She just does not get enough of our corpses. She's made full body, leather jackets out of our hide. At this point, she just has a collection in her basement of just dead shrine girls. Making a killing. I'm gonna just drag this joke out. Making a killing on the black market, selling our livers and kidneys. But yeah. It's a strange phenomenon if anyone has ever gotten to the shmup genre. If it's kind of got a high, a high entry level, a high, high bar of difficulty to get in and learn. I mean, for me, I would say probably Crimson Clover in particular. got me back into shmups in this modern era, but I could definitely tell you, like, you know, I certainly had a lot of shoot 'em ups on the NES growing up. You know, the Gradiuses and stuff like that. You know, so it was certainly kind of like, wow, this is kind of, you know, of course it's vertical instead of horizontal, but you know, I was like, hey, I remember these games. These games were like hard as balls. You know, back in the day when, you know, a game necessarily, you know, it didn't have the hardware to be, you know, a million levels long. It was only 4 or 5 levels long. But it was like, Jesus, we got to make this a 60-hour game. We need to be able to play this thing for 60 plus hours. We just got to make sure it's as hard as nails. So it was kind of like, you know, my entry or my experiment was kind of like, what happens if I try to play the games that gave me absolute hell when I was younger now? You know, when I have, you know, maybe the time and the patience, and maybe the hand-eye coordination as an adult instead of a kid. What happens? And yeah, and that's been my whole channel. That's been my experiment. But it is interesting to see others that don't have that sort of experience, I suppose, or agenda, I guess is probably better to say, but yeah, go see their video. Go see the video. I guess I've said enough about it, but yes, I would say go see it. If you, I don't think I have a link on the video, but they're certainly on the my main page of my YouTube of like related channels. So go check them out there. And there we are. We're dead. R.I.P. Pretty much where we have been dying. But that's it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, do all that stuff, and we'll come back and play some more.